The First World War, a devastating conflict that affected humanity for 4 years across the globe. An estimated 22 million lives lost, including civilians, and over 70 million drafted as military personnel from every continent. The British Commonwealth holds an annual commemoration for those who sacrificed their lives in this conflict in a remembrance service known as Armistice Day. On the 6th of November 2020, the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of the UK hosted a virtual remembrance service to honour the sacrifices of the servicemen and women from the Commonwealth forces. Hosted online due to the tightened restrictions caused by the coronavirus pandemic, the service united people of all cultures, backgrounds and faiths to honour the memory of the fallen. The formal service began with a recitation of the Holy Quran.
ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور.
The welcome address was delivered by Mr. Tommy Callon, the National President of the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Community in the UK.
I'm humbled to see so many coming together virtually in reverence and remembrance, regardless of creed, color, or caste. In common with each other, we are charged with a universal desire to honor the service and sacrifice of those who have fought and died in defense of the freedoms we today enjoy.
Following a brief video presentation introducing the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, various honourable dignitaries offered messages of support, including Dr. Satya Sharma, MBE, Member of the British Empire, Mr. Suleiman Hashim, who presented a letter on behalf of the British Prime Minister, Councillor Maddie Henson, the Mayor of Croydon, Mr. Zahir Jatoy, the Chairman of the Charity Walk for Peace, Mr. Albert Jarrett, a Royal Air Force veteran, the Right Honourable Fleur Anderson, the Member of Parliament for Putney, Miss Uma Clemson, the National Chairman of the Royal British Legion, and Lieutenant Colonel Paul Walkley, representing the Armed Forces. A youth member of the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, Bilal Bonsu, presented a report on the involvement of African soldiers in the World Wars, as well as the charitable works of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community with the Royal British Legion. Various forms of remembrance and prayer commemorated the day, with the act of remembrance introduced by Lieutenant Commander Suzanne Lynch, prayers led by missionary Humayun Jahangir Khan and Father Michael Raymond Freeman, readings by the Mayor of Waverley, Councillor Dr. Penny Marriott, and Veteran Lieutenant Colonel Barry Humphreys, MBE, Member of the British Empire, and a recitation of Sikh holy scriptures by Mr. Kuldeep Singh Ubi, the National President of the Namdari Sikh Sangat in the UK. A number of youths also actively participated, with Cody Stockton offering a prayer for peace, and poems of remembrance recited by Eleanor Gross, a community youth ambassador, and Cadet Lance Corporal Callan, a member of the Pan-African Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. The last post was performed, commemorating the end of duty of the fallen servicemen and women, followed by a 1-minute silence. The vote of thanks was offered by Commander Robert Jaffier of the Royal Navy.
I'd also like to give a final thanks, and the most important thanks, to those young ambassadors. You are clearly our future, and I will do everything within my power, wearing Her Majesty's uniform, to help safeguard that.
Followed by the concluding remarks delivered by the respected National President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association UK, Mr. Rafiq Ahmed Hayat.
We must reflect on all those millions of people who lost their lives as a result of the 2 world wars. All faiths and none stood side by side for the common good. We have much shared history, and even today we can learn from it. As we remember their sacrifices, perhaps the greatest lesson we can learn is that we must not let this tragedy befall us again.
The National President concluded the service with a silent prayer. This report is brought to you by MT International, UK Studios in London.